Ironhide is the red one. Ratchet is the white ambulance.
Okay.
So they are the same. They are the same. They are like the same vehicle. So
Okay.
they can, but yet they can fit inside of each other.
I have questions.
Gen Wars. Hey everybody, welcome back to Gen Wars. This is we're going to be watching through Transformers G1 series. And this is a collaborative project with my buddy Steven over at Funky Games. Say hi to him, Steven.
Well, hello there.
This is a combative process. This is a combative conversation between the Gen X and the, hold on, let me get my notes out, the filthy, dirty, disgusting, horrible, no good millennials. Did I hit all the adjectives correctly?
Absolutely. All of corporate
Excellent.
America is just clapping, standing in applause with your
Excellent.
description of the millennials.
So we're going to be watching through episode 1, part 3 of More Than Meets the Eyes. So the third episode, but it's episode 1, part 3 of G1 Transformers. And based on our copyright claim that we got last time, we're going to do the same kind of process where we're going to put a link down in the description with a place you can watch it and watch along with it. And I'm going to throw up some stills as we go along to kind of keep you in line of where we are in the episode. Steven, you want to hit him with some plugs before we start this?
Make sure you like and subscribe to both our channels, Fire Hazard 508 Creations and Funky Games. You gotta check out both channels. Like, that's why we're collaborating. You gotta do it for the boys. Like, we put on a good show. You can also go to the Funky store, funky.store. They got merch for probably a limited time. No one's made me take down this Space Force shirt yet, but you never know when it could happen. So you gotta go over to the funky.store, pick it up while you can. There's lots of good stuff over there, especially for thick boy summers. It's sweaty out there. You need some new shirts to sweat through, so pick them up at funky.store.
Yes, I need to get myself some thick boy summer shirts.
Exactly. Thick boy summers
dig
is the best
the Blockbuster hat as well.
Oh, thank you. This is from the last Blockbuster. I think it's in Oregon. It says somewhere on there, but yeah, this is like official Blockbuster merch. You can pick that up too. That's still on the internet somewhere. This was an early pandemic like self-purchase. Like, I have nothing else to do. Blockbusters is still around. I did all my Christmas shopping. Money. Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Speaking of spending money, before we get started, I have to talk
absolutely.
about my little pickup here. Ooh. It
Look
is
at that.
the official Rise of the Beast Transformers popcorn bucket.
Look at that thing.
And it lights up. Look at that, brown.
Ooh, perfect.
Yes.
I bet you're not going to put a lick of popcorn in there.
Never. Look at all these grease deposits in there. Like, there's just no chance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're never cleaning that
savory.
thing out.
No, like, maybe, I'm guessing they had, like, a bag that was, like, designed to, like, slide in there. But that's just, like,
that would
a
make sense.
minuscule amount of popcorn for as much as I'm sure they're charging for these at the theater. Yeah, I'm very excited to get that. I picked that up from Cinemark.
I don't know if you have any more room on your shelves back there.
Actually, this is only half my shelving, so the other half is mostly bar stuff that I think I'm going to cycle out for more gaming and comic stuff. So
very nice.
I'll have to do a game room tour at some point.
Absolutely. We've been talking about you doing that for a while, so we're going to have to get on that.
Yeah.
At some point in the near future. After you guys are done your Funky Quest.
Funky Quest. You can check that out on the channel.
Check that out.
We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. No more plugs. It's time. There's only
no more
time
plugs. Get out of here with the plugs. All right, so everyone, get down in the description and pull up your G1 Transformers link. I have a whole bunch of notes here.
He's got the notes. He's coming in hot.
I got some notes.
He's going for a redemption round after I destroyed him last episode on world building.
All right, so once you got your episode pulled up.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right, so I'm going to do this on go. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Oof, I'm excited. I watched this like a little bit ago. I was trying to get ahead, and now I'm like overly ahead. So it's been enough time that I'm like, man, what really happened in this episode? So
you're gonna have to go back, pay a little bit of attention so you can keep up with it.
Right.
Well, so they said something interesting where they called it the final episode, right?
Were they trying just to make this a movie and that was it? And then they ended up making
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
That was the question, was like, was this intended to only be 3 episodes and that's it? Or a standalone movie? Or what? And they're just like, let's break it down into episodes. Yeah. To kind of like give some sort of lead time or lead story before they actually started just running episode after episode. Which it was weird when he said this is the final episode. And I was like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing.
They got him. I mean, you got to advertise to people back then. You really had to like earn people's media time at that point.
Absolutely.
It just wasn't accessible, so you're like, oh, I got to catch it. I can't look away from the screen.
That's true. Yeah, we when it was on, and that was it. We had no more after that.
It's the last episode. I can't go to the bathroom. I got to absorb all the commercials that are playing right now.
And they couldn't made him sound any more like R2.
Oh, yeah. I like that there's a whole bunch of like classes of Transformers, because they're treating him like just any other Transformer, even though he's like a wee little... I want to talk about this. So
I wrote down aggressive transformation.
Aggressive transforming. So does it hurt the Transformer?
It was so aggressive, and he's grunting and groaning.
Because to me, coming from Beast Wars, they're more likely to get stuck in their beast mode. That's like kind of like the default. Where here it seems like they're more likely to get stuck in vehicle mode, which is not their default, which I thought was an interesting change from the 2 franchises.
Yes, yeah, they're more in their, they're more in their robot mode more often than they are in vehicle mode.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if it happens later on. Again, it's been so long. I'm sure people are screaming, going, "No, they get stuck in their vehicle mode all the time."
Yeah. It's a good like plot device for sure. Like it creates agency or like an obstacle to be overcome. So I think that's great. But they kind of just like blew past it. Like if he was stuck like a majority of the episode and there's like those problems that you have to solve, I think that would have been a little bit more interesting of a point. But it's like 3 seconds. Like I'm just gonna really groan and moan and get back into it.
For a really long time, it got weird. I was like, oh, that's weird. But like, okay, so if he blows off a fender or like crumples in, like, does that affect his transforming?
Right. I feel like they kind of handled that in the Bayformers, where it's just like some of it's like hair or nails for us, like some of it's a little bit like not necessary. But with these designs, I don't think so, because a lot of their parts are a little bit more integrated into the simplicity.
True. There was an issue with this in the Beast Wars episode too, which we'll bring up in the next episode,
which you can watch on my channel.
So we talked about them flying.
Yes.
And he says they're too fast for us. They all fly at the same rate. Granted,
and they catch up.
So I guess they could, and they catch up, no problem. But he's like, they're too fast for us. I'm like, I don't get that.
These arbitrary like issues. I'm like, what?
But I'm wondering, half of them are jets, so maybe the jet mode can take off faster?
Yeah, I guess. But Megatron's holding his own. He's the big beefy boy.
He's holding his own with them, no problem. Yeah, but we can't catch them. That was odd.
But we can't catch them, and it did almost instantly.
And this was something I didn't know that they could do. That Skywarp can teleport.
That kind of tracks with his name, like Skywarp.
True.
Like he has that warping,
but
and that kind of like falls into line with like Mirage's abilities as well, like the hologram projection. So
which they do address in this too.
Yeah,
which is a big part of this episode.
Yeah, so I think they're more like like psychic abilities that maybe like some Transformers have and some don't. I don't know if that's like canon or anything, but that's how I kind of rationalize like, oh, some of these Transformers have like psycho like PK like going on. And so I also wanted to bring up like this is the first time we see like Optimus's like leadership like just ignored straight up, which we brought up in Beast Wars as well, where like Optimus Primal is always like trying to keep his team in line, and this is the first time, at least in the episodes thus far, where someone's like, "No, Optimus, I'm going to do it myself. You're not even my real dad," and then just goes and does it.
I'm not listening. You're not my real dad. I'm out of here.
Get out of
And then he gets himself blasted.
And the ambulance. Wait, is the ambulance like a normal ambulance, or is that Ratchet?
No, that's Ratchet. Yeah.
Ratchet's huge.
Yeah, they all fit inside of each other, which is kind of weird. I mean,
sometimes you just gotta fit inside your team, man.
Well, he can. He's one. I would assume a size comparison. He seems like he's one of the bigger ones.
Okay.
So maybe I don't know. Again, this lends into your weird world building where size doesn't really matter.
Yeah, the scaling just goes all over. Was the toy made that like you could put the other vehicles inside?
Only if they were smaller, but no.
Yeah, because like if it was like hot. Well, who was that? Hot Rod that was wrecked?
No, that was Ratchet.
No, Ratchet's the ambulance. Who's the red guy? Everybody screams into their monitor the answer.
Yeah.
Because I know Hot Shot was always or Bumblebee. Jeebus Christ. Bumblebee, definitely not Hot Shot. I've made that. Bumblebee was always a smaller figure because he's a scout class. Like he's a smaller dude.
Oh, that was Ironhide.
Oh, yeah.
Ironhide is the red one. Ratchet is the white ambulance.
Okay.
So they are the same. They are like the same vehicle. So they can, but yet they can fit inside of each other.
I have questions. So I want to bring up like a third entity, and this might be a little bit of a reaching, but I kind of went into some research on it. For the time period, I know I'm giving it a lot of strife for like world building and like reasonable mechanics and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I think from about the same era, Gundam does a really good job of sticking to like how everything works within the world. And so I give Transformers less of an excuse in those instances with things like scale and like viability and like how Energon works and that kind of stuff. So you have a decent knowledge of Gundam, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you just have the figure. You're a poser.
I am such a poser. I fit right in with Funky Games. I am a poser who enjoys putting Gundam together, but has not even ventured into watching Gundam, and I know I'm going to get flamed in the comments. But it's something that I've wanted to start doing and wanted to do for a while. Just I don't end up having the time with everything else under the sun that I'm doing.
Understandable. Like I have 3 kids, so I'm like there's a lot of like keeping children asleep. So anime has been like watching cartoons with subtitles has been like the best thing for me because I can be on my phone and like holding like 2 kids at once and like feeding the other with like full SpongeBob taking care of the clam meme. But so I've been like dancing around Gundam and Dandy Savage from Funky Games. He's been he talks up Gundam pretty good. And so I was like, okay, how do I get started? And a video was fed to me. It was like, this is how you watch Gundam today, like starting with this. And there's actually a new series that came out in 2019, I believe, called Gundam Origins. Like, this is where you start. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. This is okay. Really good.
That would probably be a good thing for me to get into where I can I have a place to jump into instead of just
that's what I
starting
was
from
looking
the
for, and the guy that did the video is like G Gundam Wings, which is the one I'm more familiar with. They're like they happen outside of the core story, so they're not even like super relevant to the lore and whatnot. And I was like, oh, so like basically I haven't experienced true Gundam at all. So having this like as my first foray into Gundam was like, oh, I'm in. It's way more like anti-war, political. Like it kind of reminds me of I don't know if you've seen Rain, which is like a different version of Game of Chairs, where it's just like all the political setup and stuff. So it's like, okay, this is anime, like royal families and assassinations and tech
on my anime
arms race.
hardcore.
Yeah.
I am very behind. Everyone's like, you haven't seen that? And I'm like, no, it's just one avenue that I haven't really gone down.
Why would I watch anything new when I can rewatch G1 Transformers?
Sit here and crap all over it and be like, no, what's going on? Wow. This was something, the fact that he has a plan. Optimus goes, I got a plan, which you assume that Mirage is going to make a mirage of something that they're going. And then when they get there, Hound and I think it was Hound. He was mad. He was like, why is this happening? And he's like, weren't you privy to the plan? Was he not
right?
Was Optimus not filling you in on anything?
Are we pulling a Star Wars here?
Are you pulling? Yeah, just don't tell anybody. We're just going to do it.
That was a 1 in a million shot. God, I hated it. I hated it so much. Well, also
we'll get into that when we do the Star Wars.
Where they're like accidentally like letting Prowler go, and they're like, yes, everything's according to plan. Megatron's like, I see through your plan, and they're like, oh darn it, you saw through my plan. I was like, I thought it was like a double bait and switch. I was like, wait, what? No, Megatron just like straight up was like, nah, you goofy.
He's like, I got the I see through everything you're doing. I do enjoy like the landing. They made them so the sound all the sound effects when they land and everything just gives them so much weight and gravity to them, which is nice. Which are always seeing them like run around and do their own thing. But we don't hear that a ton. And I was like, oh, I appreciate that when they come landing and transform.
Yeah.
And they also don't scream their names every time they have to transform into. They just go.
I won't tolerate such slander.
Oh, that happened. That's many notes in my Beast Wars notes. Is,
Lord.
Why do they have to scream their name?
Why? Why is it like this? Why are you like this?
Oh, see, they just showed Ratchet and Ironhide, and they're the exact same, just color swapped.
Right. I'm ready to die.
Also, so he asks him who wants to help us, who's going to step forward, and the two humans are like, we're stepping forward. You're like, what are you gonna do against giant robots? Nothing.
Be in there. They're gonna be a part of this.
Which I'm about to eat my words, because he does end up doing something.
No, that's not fair. That's not allowed. Well, this is the thing where it's like the story of the Cybertronian War is such a better component of this era of Transformers. I don't see the value of putting it on Earth all the time and having humans that like barely help. It's like the
they're there, but that's about it.
Yeah, it kind of gives me like the young kid protagonist helping out like under these absurd parameters in your family friendly movie, and I'm like, but do we need that? Like,
we didn't need that. Yeah.
Right. It's just so much like I would rather like not have any human like protagonists that we're focused on and just see like these Transformers just like absolutely like obliterate like towns and stuff, and the Autobots are like, oh god, this is like horrible, like genocide basically. We have to prevent it from happening what happened in Cybertron. Like that's a better like narrative structure to me, to where you do have the like I care about humans without having to latch on to a particular one that's like sometimes helpful, like can lift
that you have
a boulder
that you identify with
underwater all of a sudden with superhuman strength that the robot couldn't lift up.
And he turns into a gun, but has somebody else, because this Starscream is shown that he's not trustworthy. He wants to stab Megatron in the back, so he jumps into, I don't know who that would look like, Skywarp or somebody's hands.
Yeah. Jeez, wrecked. He's gonna drown him.
No, they're not underwater. There's supposed to be dust clouds.
I know.
And then he just yeets Rumble. He's like, you're so small, I can just throw you around.
Right.
Oh, this, I think coming up right here is where Spike actually does something.
Why is Laserbeak so big? When did that happen?
Yeah, he's normally not that big.
Intriguing. Did no one stick to the character sheets?
And he completely destroyed the truck, the 18-wheeler bed.
Oh, yeah.
Because it has like a little flip out. He blew it up, but he does have it later on.
Yeah, I mean, they had the Teletran like repair system, so that makes sense to me. I don't know how much of it was left, but I guess you only need a little bit. Oh, yeah,
there's the rock. Just a rock just knocks his...
That might be the biggest triggering I've seen.
Yeah. He just flick Spike and
right,
he's
what
gone.
Was that, like 110 mile an hour, like fastball rock? Like, come on. Because they've shown that like the rope, like the Transformers are like way stronger than humans. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Ugh. Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Just fly up there.
Just fly up there, and then this happens, which happened in Beast Wars, because you said that nobody flies.
Right.
Oh, are we going to a commercial break? Hold on, we got to go to a
commercial break. Don't leave your seats. Transformers will be back.
Because I didn't know, because this was weird, because some people, they all can fly conceivably. We've seen them all kind of
yes, everybody on screen has flown.
But right here, he grabs, I don't know he grabs somebody's jetpack.
What? Because he can't go.
Give me your rocket pack. Why? I mean, I guess so he can go faster, conceivably. But why does he even have a rocket pack to begin with?
Right.
But this happened in the second episode of Beast Wars, because you said nobody can fly, and then he has a special backpack.
Yes. That's, oh my god. It makes me so mad. Blow him out of the sky, Megatron. Oh, this is horrendous. Please. Man, so they've made some distance. Like they're like home free essentially.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're in the upper atmosphere at this point, but
right.
And also, he fell a mighty distance, but he was like, "I'm okay."
Mighty, yeah. That's way less than the
when he rolled down the hill.
Yeah.
And he couldn't transform.
He's completely wrecked. Optimus, please.
I'm okay.
Oh, I sprained my shoulder. How?
I sprained my shoulder.
You fell through the atmosphere. You know what? Maybe Optimus is just getting older. Like sometimes, like I would fall from great heights as a kid and be like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." And then today I'm just like, I step off the stoop wrong and my ankle is like up.
I used to jump off porches when I was a kid, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fine. My knees just hurt a little bit. It's good." And now I'm like, "Why did I do that?"
Sleeping is pain. You just aged between the last like 3 scenes.
Yes, absolutely.
Or de-aged, I guess.
That's how it works.
Oh, Mirage. He's in there.
So
wait, how?
I don't know how he
was he there the whole time?
I think so.
Oh,
I think he just vanished himself and was in there. I don't think he teleported.
Okay.
Because I don't think he can teleport.
No, yeah.
I think Skywarp is the only one that's ever teleported.
Right.
That again, I'm sure someone's like, "No, this guy could teleport too."
Right, yeah. Raj could totally do that.
You're so wrong, Nick. Why are you so wrong all the time? but gets him to crash again. I was like, okay. It's like, no, you're gonna stay here and you're gonna fight us,
right? Because like, do they say? I guess it's like an unfathomable distance, but like, how far is Cybertron from? I guess they don't care because they're like timeless beings. Like they don't age.
Yeah, They don't think they've ever said where. Okay, I'll
fact check.
I'm fact check.
I don't know if it was like a throwaway line, like, "Oh yeah, it'll take 4 billion years to travel from Earth to Cybertron" or something like that. Like,
yeah,
to me, like, it's got to be so far, and until they get like the bridge to move that fast and that far, like them actually just flying up in the sky, like, okay, we got some time to like solve this issue. They're not going to get there for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it has to be relatively close because they left Cybertron, they smashed into the asteroid field, and then they landed on Earth. But then they hit some sort of... I don't think they hit any sort of, like, warp hole.
Yeah, no. It's got to be, like, an adjacent galaxy or something like that.
Oh, okay. Mirage's parachute also was, like... the stiff. It wasn't even a parachute. It was just like a piece of metal.
Yeah.
I mean, that works.
Whatever gets the job done.
Oh, and this, they just assume that they died. They were like, they're dead. Cool. They crashed into the ocean. Good to go.
Good to go. Yeah,
you just crashed into the mountain for 4 million years, and they got up and started fighting you.
For all like... Optimus did just fall through the stratosphere and it was fine. So I would beg to be like, maybe we should verify. And something of that scale crashing back into the Earth.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be traumatic.
Huge.
That was a huge ship.
Oh. Yeah, and they're just chilling on the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, this is fine. Why is there air? Why do they need air? Why are there air bubbles? Explain this to me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're gonna have some of that in the next episode.
Oh no.
I have some explain it to me's.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, okay. So
this isn't just gonna beat on G1.
I like how the last episode ended with a very clear cliffhanger that Megatron's not dead.
The final episode, that we were going to maybe have some sort of resolution. It was like, no cliffhanger.
But actually cliffhanger.
We're going to make more. Just keep paying attention.
Lordy. Well, that...
All right.
Was it the most horrid episode?
No.
I still think it was definitely stronger than 2. The mid section of this... trilogy was pretty mid, I will say. We will return after this short technical break.
All right, so this episode better than the last.
Yes.
And still left us on a nice cliffhanger to come back for more.
Tune in next week to see Megatron fly out of the water. Unexplained.
Do his shenanigans again. Now, so I'm assuming these are now from here on out. Obviously, I haven't watched ahead enough. These are just going to be standalone episodes. I guess.
I think they're pretty episodic.
Not that you have that answer, but
yeah, I think it's all building up. But I think it comes a little bit more of how Beast Wars was functioning with like their situation of the week is pretty self-contained. I think there's only one more like episodic arc akin to this, but again, to me, not much happened in this first set of episodes to call it like a complete arc, besides like they really reckled the ship again, but it was already kind of goobed anyway.
Yeah, and then they're just back to where they started from 4 million years back.
Yeah.
Or after 4 million years.
Because they didn't get in touch with Cybertron at all, so they don't know the state of affairs of Cybertron, right?
No.
No, yeah. For 4 million years, they've just kind of been like,
And, what's his name?
Shockwave?
Why can't... Shockwave's just sitting there like, well, I guess I run stuff here.
Okay.
Because, he left him in charge.
Yeah.
Back on Cybertron.
Makes sense to me.
Well, I'm interested to see where this is going to go because I don't remember.
It's been a while.
This is like
It's
all
been a
new.
while.
This is like it's been many years, so I get to experience this all over again. Where you just watched Beast Wars like probably last week,
Maybe.
maybe.
But now you can go to part 2 over on my channel, Funky Games, to watch the second part of this, where we talk about, I don't know which way is a good way to point, but we're gonna watch Beast Wars now. So go over there and check that out. Of course, after you've liked and subscribed and done all the other things, we appreciate it.
Oh yes,
and put all of
right
your
there.
conversation down in the comments because we want to know what you're thinking. We'll chat it up. We're chatterboxes. We'll talk to you no matter what. So put the
Exactly.
comments below.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and make sure to hit up Funky Store. Go get some merch. Space Force, not get that taken down, or maybe buy it enough so it does get taken down, and then we have something else to talk about.
Absolutely, I'll have to put new stuff up. So,
all right, guys. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.
hello and welcome to Funky Games. We're doing the Gen Wars. We're watching Beast Wars in this combative conversation about Transformers. I have Nick here from Fire Hazard 508 Creations. How you doing, Nick?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm big chilling. I'm ready to showcase the prowess of 90s storytelling and cutting-edge computer graphics, everything that makes Beast Wars absolutely so special. But this is a part 2, so make sure you had checked out part 1 over on Nick's channel because you'll be heckin' lost, and that's no good for anybody. And you need to be engaged and watching along with us. We've included links below so you can watch this episode of Beast Wars with us, which is episode 3, the third one in the first season of Beast Wars. Nick broke his camera. His fancy pants camera. Hold on, Nick broke everything. Future Nick, flame past Nick for his buffoonery.
Shame myself for
shame. Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Yes. All right. We're back. Yay.
Oh, hey. Welcome. Transformers is now returned. But we're watching episode 3, so you need to click down below and check out the episode with us and watch along. But make sure you like and subscribe and do all those things. Both channels. Turn on the alarm bell so you know when the next episode of Gen Wars comes out, or the next episode of the Poser series where we play through quintessential video games, or Funky Quest where we're playing D&D for the first time. Those are great things that you can all check out here on the channel. And Nick is making a whole bunch of cool things on his channel. Play things into display things. So you want to be caught up on all those things.
I think the box is over there.
There's things. You can click on those. Isn't that neat? Technology. As we are all struggling with technology. So, Nick's going to give us the countdown, and we're going to watch the next episode of Beast Wars.
Absolutely. So everybody get your episodes pulled up. Should have a link in the description. And we're going to do this on go. And we're going to go. Ready? So 3, 2, 1, go.
Dun, 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 dun. It's Beast Wars, falling from space, the Transformers staple. We're coming off of Megatron plummeting into the atmosphere once again.
And Optimus plummeting to the ground.
Yes.
From the atmosphere, upper atmosphere.
Yes. Oh, man. Optimus just can't keep his footing. But this is a different Optimus. Optimus Primal. A completely different person.
Completely different person.
Couldn't be the same at all.
The guy who does his voice, I had to look it up. He sounds really familiar, but I don't know a lot of the other stuff he's in.
Oh, what is? Do you have that on hand?
I don't have that on hand,
Okay.
but I can pull this up real quick.
Or Future Nick is putting it in the notes.
Or Future Nick.
Oh, it's Rhinox. He's got problems. He's got to tell. Yeah,
it's such a quiet show. Like
it
there's
is
not
a little
lot going on.
Well, people
I was
could
noticing
hear.
that. Like
it's.
but there's not like a lot of like ambient noise going on, unless they're maybe outside.
I
But
wonder
when
if
on the
they
ship,
just.
it's like dead quiet.
Yeah, I mean that would be pretty realistic. I mean, I guess you have some beef. Yeah, they just
Yes.
maybe they just ran out of budget. They're like, We can't afford to do sound effects here as
We
well.
spent it all.
Well,
We
yeah,
spent
because
it
that makes
all
sense.
in
Because
the-
they use some goofy cartoon sound effects in this on occasion, and that to me is more like maybe not a deliberate decision, but like we can't go to the Foley studio again. We're gonna have to find something that works.
His name's Gary Chalk. Gary Chalk.
Mm.
He was in. He was in Freddy vs. Jason. Not that I would really.
Okay.
That was one that like stuck in my mind.
So he's a on-camera actor more than a voice actor?
No, he does both.
Okay.
He does a lot of
You gotta
cartoons.
get yourself a man that can do both. That's real important.
Mega Man, Sonic. He doesn't do Sonic's voice, but
This is the first protoform that we're encountering. Yes. I think so.
Here?
Yeah. Isn't he
Again.
pulling up a capsule?
I thought it was. He said it was a gun or a laser beam.
Oh, it's a gun? Oh, from the ship. Okay.
Yeah, but he's also so wet. Why is he so wet?
He's shiny. Is his armor
He's so
his
shiny.
carapace? Is the correct term? Yes.
Yes.
Scorpions have
Yes, I think
carapaces
so.
like crabs.
Future Nick, fact check.
But yeah, that like shiny like I guess it's not supposed to be plastic, but shiny bug and wet bug kind of look the same.
Kind
of
look the same. Yeah, I can see that.
yeah. I would love to see like if they ever put out like the original like models and stuff like with new texture renders and stuff like that and like hair physics. Oh yeah, it's a gun. I thought it was a protoform. I was getting excited about that. My bad. Spoilers.
I'm surprised somebody hasn't done that. I'm surprised somebody hasn't taken these and
It would
kind
be
of
so much work without like
reskin
the
them.
models and stuff. I guess you could get them from one of the newer games or something. That'd be cool. We gotta remake Beast Wars, Morty. Morty, we gotta remake. That's the second time I've made that joke for the frequent viewers, but I think it's worth doing. Like I don't see too many flaws with like the storytelling and the voice acting and everything. Like if you updated the graphics of this is a great show.
Yeah, I could see doing an updated version of this.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised they really haven't done.
Yeah.
Or they have. No one's. I mean, maybe they've tossed it around and it just isn't viable, or nobody wants to do it.
I don't know.
But there's that.
I think it'd be a
gross-ass
great
gun.
like
That
personal
gun is
project.
disgusting.
Leave the brain alone. Oh yeah, tarantulas.
Leave the brain alone.
Old pickle lips.
I did like his when he's in his robot form, his like his head sculpt or his head with the two little like mandibles or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Him and tarantulas have cool face sculpts.
What's always interesting to me
Designs, not sculpts. I'm thinking about my stuff now.
But yeah, but models, sculpts models, that all
there
works.
you go.
Yeah, it's a 3D sculpt. People use ZBrush and stuff. But a lot, if not all, of the Beast Wars toys had two faces. Like every single one of the robot modes had an additional face, which I always thought was interesting with the toys. So, because I always thought it was like a combat thing, like Scorponok's toy. He had a mask that would like flip over, and he would be all black with like red and like pipes on his face, and I thought that was the cooler like head design for his character.
Now, was that on the actual toy, or did you have to attach that?
No, it was
after
actually
that?
on the toy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool that they were able to incorporate. Not
I just never
a
understood
single-
why per se, and then also it never comes into play in the show except for Optimus has his face mask
a
that
little
comes
face
up.
shield.
Yeah, and cover up his lips. Dang, he is wrecked.
He is right.
He's absolutely just destroyed.
So that was something that I questioned because we've seen it in G1 where Ratchet would take people back and fix them, or they Teletran would fix them. I'm assuming is there a Teletran here system?
It's kind of similar. I like this
Similar
flashback
to
to Cybertron. I forgot about this.
I wrote down that it looks like the it looks like what we thought computers looked like in like Hackers,
Yes.
the movie Hackers, or that we thought what the inside of the internet looks like, or something like that.
Yes. Oh, also in Reboot, which we had talked about prior, which was like one of
the Canadian show.
Yes.
I never watched
because they're
that
inside
thing.
computers. I believe in that too. Haven't seen that. But
Okay.
I've heard of it referenced.
So yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, how do they repair themselves? Like, he got blasted.
They show it, so it's just like a
Okay.
little capsule thing. It kind of works like Bacta
Bacta?
tanks. It's basically
Like
like
Bacta?
robot
Bacta.
Bacta tanks. Yep. But actually, they use that like as like a point of tension a lot of times. Like it doesn't work, or they're stuck in it, or like it takes a long time, so someone's completely out of commission for X amount of time. So it's a really good story beat to have like at your disposal when you're writing any given episode. Like, oh yeah, he could just be stuck in the thing, so now they have to figure out how to work around that. But
man, them screaming.
I like they
terrorizing
didn't
my
really
ear.
change the design of Cybertron for War Cybertron. It looks a lot like this.
It looks a lot. Yeah, it looks very similar. Because I played the video game, and it has a very similar look and feel to it.
And now I can't unsee the
smacked
amount
him
of
in
like
the face.
trombone or like super close cuts that they do in this show.
Yes.
I think
a
it's
lot.
because they
There's a
worked
lot.
so hard on the character models and not on the environment designs.
They're like, let's show them as close as we can.
Yeah, because then we don't have to do any of the render of the back scene or anything, but we can keep everything real close.
All right, so this is first point. This is the first point we had talked about in the last episode, and I wanted to address it here. Rat Trap is eating an apple, or why?
So I think later on, it's kind of spoilers. There is a good reason. And they do explain it specifically with the addition of a new character. So I don't, because it's his whole character arc is about it.
Okay.
I kind of want to defend it. So basically, the scanning tech is not meant.
You're gonna have to defend it. You're gonna have to defend it in about 10 minutes or so, because I'm gonna bring it up again.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and defend it. The scanning tech is not made for organics. So the animal scan actually starts screwing around with their head, and like it really messes with them like mentally. So Rat Trap is showing like why are you eating? It's like, oh, I'm just like instinctually doing it because I'm a rat and that's what rats do, and that's the strongest instinct within rats is to eat.
Okay.
And so he's just like, he's not even thinking that that's what he's doing. And it's like he gets into garbage and stuff, and they're like later like, what are you doing? But there's a new character that really goes into that.
He says he's got to go eat some garbage or get into some garbage at the end of the episode.
Yes. Yeah, so they're showcasing that, because I think it's the next character that's introduced that his whole story line is about like combating the animal instinct in there, and they actually even go into it a lot more with Beast Machines.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those like, wait, they're robots, but they're animals, but why are they?
It's not supposed to work, and they actually like mention that and utilize it within the storytelling that they do, which I think it's great that they are at least working at kind of explaining away some of that stuff, and you're like, oh, okay. And I think the Mario movie, oddly enough, does a really good job of just like, oh, yeah, it's just how it is. And it's like, okay, I'm accepting that.
I mean, that's kind of how some of the things worked in G1, where it was just like, okay, that's how it worked.
Yeah,
They
as long
fly,
as it's acknowledged.
Sure, whatever.
I think my specific gripes with G1 is like, they can fly, and then suddenly it's a problem that they could solve by flying. They just don't fly.
But they don't.
They don't say like, "Oh, the gravity's too much," or like, "I'm tired."
Well, this show has a reason for it, because if they're in their human or their robot form, they can only stay there for a specific amount of time or whatever that is. Like,
yeah, the energy.
They could use that to their advantage.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I noted this after I watched G1, but there's a lot of punny humor in this show.
Yes, it's
it
pretty...
is like dad pun central.
Yeah, I think it's good
kid pun
camp.
central.
I think that's something that's not tapped into enough in current media is like camp, and this is why I love Tremors. Like Tremors is like the best balance of like doing intentional campy like things for the sake of doing camp, and I think that's the beat that they tried to strike here. Is doing some like fun camp, like hey, like isn't that funny? I don't think it always lands for sure, but also fun fact that you brought up Rat Trap falling.
It would land for kids. I could see how it would land for kids. Yeah.
But here's another character that's really succumbing into the animal instincts of what has been.
That's what I was gonna bring up. It was like, hey. He's going full cannibal. I guess cannibal. He's an animal, but he is just going full omnivore, or not omnivore, carnivore. Jesus.
Yeah.
But I was like, whoa, he's gonna straight up eat him.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, like actual cannibalism.
Okay.
Yeah, and that it's really good that. To me, as like just like a huge fan, that you're picking up on these right away as like an adult viewer, to where like kids are just like, oh, you know, but you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense, but actually it does make sense because these things are going to play out. They've only been
awake for
a couple days.
I that's what I wrote. A few weeks, maybe.
Yeah,
a couple. I mean, I wrote days, maybe a week.
Yeah, they're just all trying to figure out stuff.
But they're all like, "Oh, I'm gonna just eat you now."
Right? Yeah, because they're in count. Like they have this like, I'm calling it DNA. Like they basically have this DNA inside them. I don't know if that's the technical, but they're like their body is like basically like rejecting and accepting different components of it at this point, and like everybody's like dealing with it in different ways. Like that's the nuts and bolts of it. And I think. In later episodes, like some characters just like completely like lose touch with like the robot mode, and they're like, oh god, this is like a whole thing now. Like they can just go full like primitive,
full animal.
Yep, because it's not supposed to work. It's like it's like forbidden. Like this is verboten like to do.
I want to see Megatron go full T-Rex on somebody.
Yes,
that would be.
And that I think is like something that's like, okay, that's why they scan vehicles and stuff, is because like there's no sentience or DNA to like work with that could like interact with their system. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense to me. Yes, the old scouting behavior. Excellent. Oh man, his foot's going really wonky on that model though.
I didn't see it.
Oh man, that back foot was kind of like crippling. I made it through a couple render passes. Like, oh, do I really want to re-render this again? That foot is way out there.
Just put it out. No one will see it.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Little do they think 20 years later we're sitting here.
Yeah, this is on a 240p screen. No one cares. No one, I can't even see it. There's scan lines in the way.
My tube television.
Right. And I like that they made like the two characters that have shown like are kind of like succumbing to the natural instincts, kind of like battle each other here.
Okay. Yep. His head sculpt is fantastic.
I love Tarantulas. It's such a good design.
I don't know if I like all of him. We see him very quick, or he's moving around. The legs are kind of weird, sticking up off him. I've never saw the toy, so I need to see that too.
Yeah, look up the new toy is really good. It strikes a really good balance. But those arms are actually blasters. He can shoot with those. So like he can do like a big tarantulas like stance.
Did they make a new toy for the new movie?
Not for the new movie. I don't know if he's in the new movie. I haven't seen it, but
no, I haven't either.
They made a new one for War Cybertron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's really,
yeah, that is pretty cool.
That's a nice figure.
Oh yeah, no, that's a nice figure. Okay, all right. Even bug mode is it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, the Black Arachne and the Tarantulas ones, I think, turned out really good. The Dinobot one, of the newer ones, I think they had a lot of work to do there. I actually prefer the original Dinobot toy. I've had them side by side, and I'm just like, I see what you're going for, and I appreciate it.
Get out of here.
The original one kind of striked a better suspension of, like, this is a toy.
Okay. Yeah, this thing is pretty nice. I like it. Well, maybe at the end of this, if I really like this show, I'll buy one.
Oh, man, wow.
Add it to the shelf.
You might have to buy something. I like rat traps. Like, I think, especially, like, looking at G1 design variations and this, like, they're just completely different. Like, all of these characters, granted, we're working with a lot less right now.
Yeah.
There's just so much variety here, and I think it really pays off when you're, like, talking about uniqueness of characters, uniqueness of designs. It's just selling different toys. Like, they're really good quality, like, designs to me.
Yeah. So we got into this in the last episode about, or actually in the beginning of this episode where he got shot and blown, how do they fix themselves? Tarantulas' leg got blown off, which I didn't see at the first. I rewound it and I was like, whoa, they straight took his leg off.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they can just rebuild that.
I think they kind of, like, wave it away a little bit.
Okay.
And I don't know if they were, like, I don't know what, like, the production schedule of this was. I don't think they made it all in one go. I think they kind of, like, address things as the show goes, like, oh yeah, you know what, we kind of do have to, like, just not wave that away and explain it. And they start showing, like, the repairs and, like, what that means and, like, what are the actual ramifications, like how much damage they kind of, like, limit tests throughout.
Okay. All right. I mean, it was just an interesting, like we had talked when Optimus Prime fell down the hill and couldn't transform. Like, would he conceivably, like, be stuck in robot mode?
Right.
If things got dented in too much, he couldn't, unfurl himself.
Oh, great.
I also like that. I love that Rat Trap was carrying Cheetor like you would a hurt dog.
Yes. Yeah. But I mean, that makes sense. Like, just try, like, how do we position it? Shows a little bit of care of, like, when they're, like, setting up the rigs and the models, like, how is this gonna work? Like, he could have had him over his shoulder, or in, like, Transformers they just would have, like, flown away. Like,
this primal stance right here when he turns around to talk to them, something about it just got me giggling. Just, they show him in a wide shot and he's just, the pose that he's striking is just awkward. Like, they didn't know what to do with the character model.
Right. Or they didn't,
like, make him look, they're like, put his hands on his hips, and, like, we can't do that. Like, this is too primitive. Unintentional. Intentional punny.
I need to see it. I'm so ready. But yeah, now I'm really noticing how, like, focused they are on, like, character designs and, like, really close shots. Like, almost everything.
Right here, his hands on his hips.
Oh, no, yeah, the rig wasn't made to do that.
It was like, I don't know what to do with this. It's going to look weird.
Right. I'm sure they designed the rig to be in a more of a gorilla position most of the time, and then they're, like, completely upright.
Yeah, they're like, you like stand him up, and you're like, I don't know what to do with that.
What do you mean stand up?
Put his hands on his hips.
I just imagine, like the director comes and is like, he needs to stand up, and the rigger's like, what? He's a gorilla. What do you mean?
I can't do that. Yeah, right here, he's like, I'm going to go eat some trash. And I was like, I wrote down, they eat. Like, I mean, obviously, that was a big thing throughout my notes, was the eating part. Which
and it's odd. Just Rat Trap, so that's, like, kind of important. Like, if just Rat Trap and Tarantulas are kind of, like, going a little, All
right, so I'm assuming they'll be addressing this a little more. In the
From
future.
what I remember, I'm actually going into all the Beast Wars, like, pretty blind, just off of, because I've watched it frequently enough. So I a lot of this is for memory and kind of my own explanations for things. But it's more from appreciation of storytelling, and I know there's some specific story beats that comes with that particular like grievance, as far as like, why is Rat Trap eating anything? And yes, that is something that should be questioned, because what's going on. But
you'll have to fight the people down in the comments.
Yeah. Excellent. Comment below. Is my theory goofy? Am I just talking out my arse to delay Nick's actual point? We'll have to find out in future episodes of Gen Wars. But
and you also give me a lot of fact checking to do.
Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry, future Nick.
The same. No, I do it to myself too. I've past couple episodes, I'm like, I've done a lot of fact checking because I'm like, I don't quite know the answer.
Right, but that's what I think is so much fun about this project, is like, we're not going in as like Hasbro like aficionados or like big Transformer fanatics. We're just fans, kind of like re-going through and absorbing it the way that like is the baseline absorbing. Like, you're gonna watch the show, you're gonna have questions, you're gonna be interested to the extent that you can be interested in a show, and then go in and do further research. And I mean, that's what I hope people do with the movies.
4 pages of notes.
Oh Lord. He's going in
both episodes.
He's going full hog.
Well, I kind of need to. It keeps, it's good to keep me on track and at least point out things like, we wouldn't have seen that Optimus, the Primal, standing there all goofy, like if I didn't write it down and like make sure I brought it up as a point.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I was just glazed over that. So I love it. I'm here for it.
Excellent. All right. Well, you want to hit him with your plugs?
Make sure you like and subscribe and ring the bell so you know when new episodes are coming out. We're doing a lot of things here on the channel. We play a lot of video games, quintessential fun. We're hanging out with the boys, and you can join us and hang out too. That's why you watch all the content, and we appreciate all the subs. We're growing. The big funky fam is larger and larger, becoming more of a threat to society. Make sure you check out Nick's channel, Fire Hazard 508 Creations. You actually were already there. You just watched the last part of this, so definitely make sure that you're like and subscribe to all of his stuff. He's making cool things. He's got all these display things, all these cool toys that you could do, but you're not going to because he's doing it. So make sure you check out his channel. And you go to the funky store, do all those things. There's some cool swag on there, and we appreciate all those purchases. So until next time, we'll see ya. Bye.
Peace.